Have the Indians always patched their birch bark canoes like this, Joe?
As long as man can remember. Now you try this, huh? Hey, like this.
Joe, why do you call it a 3-fathom canoe?
Well, this is the way the voyageurs measured canoes. Big canoes for many men were maybe 36 feet, or 6 fathoms. And small canoes were 2 or 3 fathoms, like this. Well, I must go.
Well, couldn't you stay for a while? We'd get this patching finished.
Well, this time of year, I work for Mr. Jones. Very rich man with summer house on the lake shore. You know him, maybe?
We know him, all right.
Well, if I had to feed him and his family, it wouldn't matter. But I have to feed his horses, and this does matter.
Back in the afternoon?
In 2 hours. Why don't you go on with this till I come, huh?
Okay. Can I come, Joe?
Sure. I like to have you with me. And I think the horses like it too, huh?
Very nice ride.
Yeah, who was it said the outside of a horse is good for the inside of a man?
Oh, thanks. I'll have a pipe. Well, I guess I left it in my jacket. I seem to have left that in the stable.
Oh, well, I'll get it for you, sir.
Oh, thanks, Eddie.
Sit down.
Something wrong?
I don't like this linseed. You know what? Men will eat food when it is a little bad, but not horses. Oh, they got too much sense. You like to go and bring another can?
On my way.
Hi, Joe.
It's on the peg inside.
Oh, boy. You read me just like you read one of your forest trails, don't you, Joe?
Sure, why not? I know you a long time.
Nice kid, Eddie.
Think so?
You should know. You're his dad.
Too many girlfriends, too many parties. Just can't seem to settle down, take life seriously. And he drives that car of his too fast.
Oh, the younger generation, same as we were, even if they look different.
I'm worried about him, Mac. Just lately he's been moody. I can't get through to him.
I'd like to give him a job. Why don't you let him take a year at one of my logging camps?
He wouldn't touch it. Sounds too much like hard work.
Well, it is. If he doesn't like it, he can quit. If he does, he's got himself a man-sized career. Either way, it'll help him make a start.
I appreciate it, Mac. But you know what I think? He hasn't got the guts.
Oh. Oh, thanks, Eddie. Say, Eddie, I've got a proposition. How would you like to do a year at one of my logging camps?
Well,
Now, it's tough. You'll find you had muscle you didn't even know you had, but you might like it, might even want to stay on.
could I think about it?
Sure, you think about it. Hey, I seem to have lost my wallet. I had it in this pocket before we went riding.
You didn't drop it on the way.
No, I carried by the tab over my shoulder.
Who's at the stable?
Only Joe Two Rivers.
Well, there's your answer. I'm sorry this happened, Mac, when you were my guest.
Yeah, but Joe...
Well, who's Joe?
He's a guide, boatman, general handyman. He's got a shack on the waterfront at Indian River. You know the kind of thing. These fellas will steal anything. But we'll get it from him. Let's go.
Yeah, well, he was just about through with the mash. He'll be gone by now.
Yeah, you could be right. With that wallet, you bet he will. How much was in it?
Around $500. I couldn't say for sure.
That's a fortune to a guy like that. I'll get Sergeant Scott to pick him up before he gets too far. Operator, get me Sergeant Scott.
Dad.
Sergeant Scott, this is Edward Jones. I want to report a theft.
What makes you think it was Joe Two Rivers? Well, I can't arrest him on that.
Then let me spell it out, Sergeant. This money was stolen from a guest in my house. If you let the thief slip through your fingers, I can make it awkward for you.
You're up here for a couple of months in the summer. I've known Joe for 10 years, and this just doesn't sound like him.
Dishonesty. Evidence. What more do you want?
All right, Mr. Jones. I'll find Joe and talk to him. I can't promise anything else. Hey, Joe, you there?
Hi.
Hi, just looking for Joe. He doesn't seem to be anywhere around.
Well, maybe he left a message.
There, he's at the fort. That's Joe and that's us. I guess we'll find him there if it's important.
Are you going there now? Look, give him a message, will you? Tell him it's important. Tell him I'm talking to him as an old friend. And don't tell anybody else, will you?
Okay.
Tell him to disappear for a while. Just melt into the force and stay there. And tell him to do it right now.
Well, what's he
Well,
done?
forget about that. You just give him the message, okay?
Okay.
Sit down. You're making me nervous.
Just suppose, Joe Two Rivers had a chance to steal $500. Would he?
No.
Well, that's what I think, but why not?
Why should he? There aren't many contented men in this world, but Joe's one of them.
Any man can use $500.
There aren't many honest men either, but Joe's one of them, too.
And besides, he's bone lazy. In a sensible kind of way. He just wouldn't go to all that trouble.
What's on your mind?
Mr. Edward Jones along the lakeshore reports a wallet stolen from one of his guests, McAllister, the lumber king. And Joe was the only person around.
That doesn't sound too good. People with their kind of money can cause a lot of trouble.
I better go have a talk with Joe.
You know where he is?
At the fort with the youngsters.
You want me to check on the radio?
You could tell him I asked Joe to stay around there till I get there, right?
Sure.
Think Joe could be in some kind of trouble?
Maybe, we don't know. But we better give him your message. Hey, Joe!
XNY 556A for Apple. Come in, please.
Mike, is Joe with you?
He's outside. You want him?
Will you give him a message from Sergeant Scott? Ask him to stay around until the sergeant arrives, okay?
Okay, over and out. Get it?
Yeah, I got it.
Going to stay?
Well, why not?
Chubb's got another message for you.
I went past your place today, Joe. Eddie Jones was there, looking for you. He told me to tell you to beat it into the bush for a while. Speaking like an old friend.
We're with you if it's trouble. You know that, Joe. You don't even have to tell us.
Well, I would like to tell you very much, but I don't know what it is.
Hey in there! Police car coming!
This back way out, Joe. He wouldn't see. He can cut to the trees down the river.
It's an idea, Joe, just in case. Till whatever this is blows over.
Never turn your back on danger. Better to see what's happening. Huh?
When you went to the stables for the noon feed, they were still out riding.
Yes.
The jacket was on the peg.
Yes.
No one else was around. You were quite alone.
I was alone.
Then they came back from the ride, they went straight to the house, and you were alone again. Till Eddie came to pick up the jacket.
Yes.
I'm on the spot, Joe. In the ordinary way, I'd say forget it. We're wasting time. This guy Jones is pretty important. So it's better for both you and me if I go by the book. Now, do you mind if I look around?
No, go right ahead.
Yours?
No,
How'd it get here?
I stole it.
From the jacket in the stable.
Yes.
Where's the money?
Oh, you won't find it here.
No, I'm pretty sure of that. But there's just one thing, Joe. You're too good a woodsman to leave a piece of evidence like this lying around.
That's it.
We may find the money yet.
Oh, I doubt it. You say this fellow's behaved himself pretty well up until now?
Yeah, Joe's a good man. He's pretty well liked around here, especially by the young people. I think Eddie will tell you he learned a lot from Joe when he was a kid.
Well, who's going to worry about $500? I'm not going to press any charges.
I don't agree with that. It's encouraging dishonesty.
Well, let's just forget about it. We don't really know the circumstances.
If we let him go, it'll happen again. Maybe in a bigger way next time. Maybe with violence. If Mr. McAllister won't bring a charge, I will.
There may not be enough evidence.
Evidence? Well, what more do you want? Isn't a confession sufficient?
Not always.
I just don't believe it. Joe wouldn't do it.
Sergeant Scott wouldn't have arrested him unless there was something.
It's a mistake. Why hasn't he told anyone I was there? If he had, I'd have been asked questions.
I guess Joe didn't want you mixed up in it.
Anyhow, you couldn't help him. All you could do was tell them that you weren't with them all the time, so he could have taken the wallet. And it was found in his shack. It's pretty convincing.
No, it isn't.
What's the matter with you?
Just thought of something.
Go on, what is it?
I better speak to Sergeant Scott about this. It's pretty important.
What is?
I better speak to him right now.
Just a minute. If it's that important, why don't we check where he is?
I've got to charge him, and I don't like it.
Circumstantial evidence? Confession?
You get to know people pretty well in a place like Indian River. I don't think these city guys realize just how well. Joe's been as straight as one of his own arrows for the years I've known him. When a man like that starts going crooked, I want to know why.
XNY 556, come in, please. XNY 556, come in, please.
XNY 556. Hi, Mike.
Is Sergeant Scott with you?
Yeah, right here. Hold on.
Hi, Mike.
Chop Stanley wants to come and talk to you.
What about?
Joe, he knows something.
What?
He won't tell us. It makes him feel important.
I'll come over and talk to him there, okay?
That'll make him feel more important.
He'll feel darn sore where he sits if he's wasting my time. Over and out. Okay, Chubb, let's have it.
I was passing Joe's place just after lunch. I saw Eddie Jones. He said he was looking for Joe.
Did he say why?
He gave me a message. Told me to tell him to beat it into the bush.
And you told him?
Yeah.
That's aiding and abetting. You're in trouble, son. You think Eddie was trying to help Joe?
It looks like it.
Well, there's not much wrong with Eddie. He's a little wild. Maybe that's because his dad's been too rough with him. Joe was good to him when he was a kid. Taught him how to shoot and fish, handle a canoe. I can imagine Eddie wanting to help him out.
But he didn't have to go right into the shack and shut the door just to see if Joe was there, did he? Unless
what?
Unless he was doing something else.
Like what?
Like leaving the wallet.
You mean Eddie stole the wallet?
Then got scared. Why not?
Well, Eddie doesn't need to steal money. His dad's got millions.
That doesn't mean Eddie has.
He's only got to ask for it.
Depends on what he wanted it for.
I bet Joe was surprised when he saw the wallet.
Eddie might be worth watching.
Why?
He must have wanted that money for something pretty urgent.
Well, it takes a lot of people to watch one man properly. Did you know that?
Yeah. I guess it does.
XMY 556, B for Baker.
Come in, please. Over.
Mike? Eddie just left. Heading for Indian River, okay? Over and out.
XNY 556 D dollar. Come in, please. Over.
XNY 556D dollar. Go ahead.
Heading your way, Pete. Report back. Over.
Okay, over and out.
What's this here? But he'd see us if he got any closer. Let's go. Operator?
Can I help you?
Hi, mate. It's Gabby. Could you tell me who that gentleman was calling just a minute ago?
He was calling the Gibson farmhouse. You know that old shack a couple of miles out?
Thanks, mate.
What was it all about? I couldn't quite get it.
Well, I wouldn't know. I never listen to other people's telephone calls. He's going to the Gibson farmhouse.
That's a pretty rough old character, that Gibson. XNY 556A Apple. Come in, please. Over. XNY 556A Apple. Come in, please. Over.
Okay, Pete. Get out there as fast as you can. Over and out. XNY 556A Apple. Calling Sergeant Scott. Come in, please.
Sergeant Scott, go ahead, Mike.
Eddie's on his way out to the old Gibson farm. Pete, Gabby, John are going out after him.
Thanks. Thanks, Mike. Good work. Over and out.
She's hurt pretty bad. She'll get better, but it's going to cost a lot of money.
Well, I can give you $500.
Well, it's better than nothing. Guess maybe I won't have to go see your dad or the police after all. Okay, let's have it. You young fellas got to learn you can't go chasing around the country knocking down innocent children, pretty near killing them. Okay, go ahead. I'll let you know if I need any more.
But what about her? What about...
Now go on. You brought enough trouble to this house. Okay, you can get up now. Start clearing that table. You had a good enough rest.
Stolen money. What do you want to be charged with, theft or blackmail?
Mike, mission completed. Over.
Thanks, Pete. Over and out.
Why did you confess, Joe?
Hi.
Well, why did you? Because you didn't do it. We know that. We found out last night that Eddie did it. You knew it was Eddie?
Well, sure. But I knew Eddie was desperate if you did a thing like this. And when someone you knew from knee-high gets in this kind of trouble, you've got to help. Does anyone else know?
Yes, Sergeant Scott knows it was Eddie.
Well, that's not good. Nice guy, but he's a policeman.
Be seeing you, Joe.
Hi, Gabby.
Hi, Sergeant Scott. Could I speak to you, please? Just for a minute.
As many minutes as you like. And I wouldn't say that to everyone. Now, what's in your mind?
It's Eddie.
Yes?
Don't be too tough with him, please. He's all right. I guess life just hasn't been too easy for him.
With a millionaire for a father and just about everything he wants in life for the asking?
Sure. Sounds great. But you ask Eddie. Maybe there's been some things he's wanted pretty badly and just couldn't get, like a real home.
Okay, you could be right. And anyone could forgive the boy for stealing a few bucks under the kind of pressure he's not strong enough to take.
I knew you'd understand.
Sure, I do. But I'm gonna go for him with everything I've got for trying to unload it on Joe.
But it doesn't seem to worry Joe.
Well, it worries me. Now, maybe I'm not as good a man as Joe. But this is just about the meanest thing I've seen in a long life. And I'm gonna take Eddie all the way for it. I'm sorry, kid.
I guess you want to see me.
I certainly do. Inside. There's one thing I won't go along with, son. It's treachery to a friend. And what you did to Joe was just that.
I know.
Well, that's something.
I guess I was just too scared to see things straight. I don't know.
Yeah, well, being scared excuses a lot of things, but not everything. Are you expecting me to let you get away with this?
No, I guess not.
You're dead right.
Look, I've been given a chance to get away from all this, to start again. I've been offered a job in a logging camp.
You work in a logging camp? Don't give me that, son. Operator, I want you to get me the Edward Jones place, please. Sergeant Scott speaking. I'd like to talk to Mr. McAllister.
McAllister speaking.
We've got our man, sir, and it's not Joe Two Rivers. I'm sorry to say it's Eddie Jones. And I want you to make a charge. I guess this may surprise you a little.
Oh, it doesn't surprise me at all. I had a pretty good idea. And I can't oblige you. I'm not going to make a charge.
You can't just let him get away with it.
I don't intend to.
But I don't intend to ruin him or his father. I've offered him a job at one of my camps.
Yeah, he's told me about that. You mean you're still prepared to take him on?
Why not? It'll do him a lot more good than a year in prison. And if you think he won't find it just as tough, why don't you try it sometime? I'd be glad to fix you up.
You think Joe Two Rivers would testify against you?
He ought to, but he wouldn't.
Yeah, that's what I think. Now, you just beat it, son, and don't give me any more trouble.
Eddie, I saw you go in. Is it okay?
He's a nice guy. He just said, don't give me any more trouble.
Now, what's all this about?
I just saw Eddie. Thank you for being so sweet to him.
Okay. Anything to oblige a lady?